Welcome to the CompCalc Training and Support video series for Windows 10 users. This is the first of a three-part training video series, Basic Features and Functions. Additional training videos include Advanced Tips and Techniques and Rating with the CompCalc. The developer of the CompCalc, author of the work Comp Index, and instructor during this presentation is Mr. Richard Montalbo. Let's join Mr. Montalbo for the first lecture, Basic Features and Functions.
Welcome to the CompCalc Plus 2017 support and training videos for the Windows 10 user. My name is Richard Montalbo, and for the next 8 to 12 minutes, I'll be giving you an overview of the basic features and functions of the CompCalc Plus. This is the first in a set of 3 separate support and training videos, which include basic features and functions, advanced tips and techniques, and rating with the CompCalc Plus. You know, when I sat down and did that first flow chart as to what my goals, what my objective, how objectives were, how I was going to set forth the CompCalc some 4 years ago, I had no idea that it was going to catch on the way that it has. This past year, because a number of you wanted a Windows 10 version, we sat down and with the assistance of my development team, we put together the CompCalc Plus for the Windows 10 user. Now, what's unique about the CompCalc Plus Windows 10 is that it takes full advantage, because we wrote it in the UWP, Universal Windows Platform language. It takes full advantage of the enhanced graphics and the lightning speed that and stability that you get in the Windows 10 environment. It also takes full advantage if your hardware has the ability of the touchscreen for inputs. Let's go ahead and begin. You'll see that I have my mouse, my pointer on the screen. I'll be using that as well as the touchscreen. I'm going to touch the icon. You can see the icon for CompCalc reverse highlights. I'm going to double click on that and we'll go right into the CompCalc. Now, this is the first module of the CompCalc, which is the PD rating. The first thing I want to do is familiarize you with the screen itself. To navigate through the CompCalc, you have really 2 ways to navigate. You have the icons across the top, and you can see we have animated icons across the top for PD rating, permanent disability, your money chart, your temporary disability money chart, but it also does calculations, as does PD. PD, if you have 100%, will provide you with a COLA or present value calculator so that you can find out the true value of what that TD for life, given the life expectancy, given a COLA rate and a PV discount rate will be. TD will calculate a period given the average weekly wage, never above the max or below the min for your TD rate, for a period start and ending date for your temporary disability indemnity. Life pension, again, we have a COLA calculator and PV calculator. Life expectancy, this uses 2010 census data, which is exactly what the DEU uses on all their calculation. Job displacement benefit. Death benefits, we have a date calculator. I'll go through that a little bit in a moment. We have the QME body codes. We're always looking for those, aren't we? So I decided to put those in there in just kind of a Rolodex format. Support, and then, of course, configure. Let's start by showing you some of the features as far as a touchscreen, or if you're using a mouse, how to navigate. Now, I've already indicated you can just click and go through the different modules, okay? But you can also swipe left or right to get to the different modules. Another thing that you can do is you'll see that, for example, if you go to PD, that there's information right out of my book, the Work Comp Index, that will, so that you'll have the information right at your hands. Let's say that you want to know if the 15% up or down applies. Well, one way to know is to select the date of injury. If it's not there, it doesn't apply. If it is there, it applies. But you can see that I give you the site to 4658D23, as well as the standard sites for PD and for apportionment. I also give you a current analysis of the Guzman and Ogilvy decision, and this is post-DOL, so it gives you a pretty good summary of what's required for Ogilvy. It gives you some sites to some additional cases focusing on Synergy. So you'll have those at your fingertips. So it's not just this is not just an estimator calculator. It's also provides you with some of the information that should be required. Now, on the temporary disability module, what's neat here is once you select the date of injury, you have to select the date of injury first. Let's say it's a 2009 date of injury. We can go into the date calculator. Now, this is just your standard indemnity, TD indemnity chart that gives you the max and mins given the date of injury. But if you go into the date calculator, look what happens here. You can put in, it assumes 2009 January, but let's say that we had a February 3rd start date for TD in 2009, and let's say it ended March of 2010, March 1st. And again, I'm just hitting, checking the check mark because that's what I want. What does it give me? It gives me total days, which are 424. It gives me the number of weeks, 60. It gives me the number of days, and it gives me my full indemnity rate. But hold it. What if, because it's assuming max, given the date of injury, okay, we're using a 2009 date of injury, gives me the max rate, but what if the applicant's not max? I check average weekly wage, and I put in his average weekly wage. Let's say the applicant only makes $600 a week. I double click on that. It will give you never above the max or below the min, the TD rate given the date of injury. Isn't that neat? And it'll automatically adjust given the period, start and stop date, and give you your full liability, excluding. Now, I will tell you this, that the temporary disability calculator includes the first date per the labor code, but excludes the last day, the date of P&S. So just be aware of that. That's in the defendant's favor if you're doing just a period, and if there's ongoing TD, you're going to short the liability by a day. But that's what the labor code provides, and that's why I did it that way. Okay, let's go to life pension. Now, what's neat about the life pension is that it has a PV COLA calculator. Now, before I show you that, well, let's take a look at this. We'll just do it this way. This is going to give you the present value COLA calculation, and we've just changed this title right here. It says present value. That's what it's going to say is present value COLA calculation of life pension. That will be the title on this page in the update that we're about to release. But let's say that we have a date of injury of 2009. Okay. Let's say that we have an 80% award. Let's say that the applicant is 45 at the first date of payment, and let's say it's a female. Now, this is using female census data for 2010. We're going to use a COLA rate, which will increase it, of 3.5. We're going to use a PV discount rate of 1.25. And here it is. You can see that it gives you the present value of the PD, applying the 1.25 modifier. It takes the future value of $160,000 and it discounts it to $150,000. It then uses the present value COLA calculation of the life pension, which has a future value of $212,000. It almost doubles it because of the COLA calculation to $368,000. Then it takes the total, and we're modifying this. This should say total present value COLA calculation of the life pension, and it equals $518,706 for an estimated value of your case given the parameters, which are an 80% PD award, female, 45 years of age at first payment, applying a COLA calculation of 3.5 or COLA modifier of 3.5 with a PV discount rate of 1.25 given a 2009 date of injury. Okay. So you don't have to send this out to the economist anymore. You can just whip out your CompCalc and have it calculated. Of course, we have death benefits, which has, I think, one of the silliest icons. Then we also have a date calculator. What's neat about the date calculator is there are 3 ways to calculate. You can take a date minus a number of days. I'm sorry, a date minus another date, a date plus days, or a date minus days. And it just flips everything around and it does the calculation for you with an end and start date. And it'll give you the period in between. Okay, so now we've completed going through the various modules. I've shown you what's there. I should really quickly, of course, we have our QME codes, and this is just a Rolodex. You can just tap on one, whatever it might be, and it gives you down the box what it might be. Okay. See how that works. And then we have our support and training. Here we have basic features and functions, rating with the CompCalc 2017, advanced tips and techniques. And of course, you can go to my website or contact us directly via an email. One thing that I haven't gone over, let's go back to the PD rating. Okay, we have our screen all cleaned up, our desktop all cleaned up here. With your pull-down menus, you can flip it, close it up so it's clean. You can add a rating, you can clear a rating, you can go to your help menu, which again, here's your training and support videos. You can find out information about the CompCalc. If you want to go to my website, you can tap on that. You can see my development team. Let me tell you, when I've got to say, Robert and Alex were instrumental in let me give them some kudos, in developing the UI for the Windows 10 platform. And I think they did a really great job. Now, the algorithms have all been the same since the first release. In other words, the way in which it works has been the same since the beginning. And we have over 4,000 downloads and people out there testing, the beta test team, as well as users that have downloaded the various versions. And I can say with some confidence that there are no errors in this calculator and estimator. Okay. I think that pretty much concludes basic features and functions. If you have any questions or comments, and in particular, if you have any comments or suggestions, I'd love to hear them. This is developed over the last 4 years in large part because people have said, hey, can it do this? Will it do this? Now, when you review easy for me to say, when you review the PD rating module, I'll be going over the combined value module as well. And I just went into that by clicking on it. But that's part of it as well. You can play what if with multiple percentages, applying the combined value equation to find out what the percentage would be, and put in your average weekly wage given a date of injury, and it'll give you the full value of it. So, okay, thanks so much for listening. I hope that was helpful.
The CompCalc for Windows 10. Once again, the complex made simple. That concludes our presentation on basic features and functions. The CompCalc is also available for the iPhone, iPad and Mac computers at the App Store, and for Android phones and tablets at Google Play, and of course at the Microsoft Store for Windows 10 users. The CompCalc is an estimator, not a calculator. The user of the CompCalc is instructed to verify all data with either a competent workers' compensation attorney and/or the DEU. It is not the intent of the Law Office of Richard Montalvo to provide legal advice, representation, nor create an attorney-client relationship with the user of the CompCalc.